welcome back to another episode of Penguin Nonsense. I am your host, Edith, and I hope you are gonna start your week off great today. I hope that you are sitting back, relaxing. Maybe not. Maybe you're on your way to work. Who knows? Wherever you may be at today, thank you for joining us on another episode. And without further ado, let's get on to these stories of today. I also want today. I also want to apologize if my voice sounds extra nasally or extra rough. I've been sick. You know, these allergies, these pollen, it's killing everybody right now. So if it sounds just extra, I'm so sorry. All right, trying to get through over it. So for today's story, our first global story of today is about Disney, because I think one of the main, networks or industries well known is Disney. I think everyone in the world knows Disney. And this story was not too long ago, and it talks about how an animatronic dragon goes up in flames in Disneyland. And so apparently the fire ignited in Tom Sawyer's Island during the Fantasmic Nighttime Water and Fireworks Show held on the Rivers of America. Videos taken by park goers show flames fully engulf Maleficent's dragon prop on stage. The flames took first over the dragon's face before spreading to the rest of its body. Heavy plumes of the dark smoke could be seen billowing the stage and were visible throughout the park. During the final showing of Fantasmic at Disneyland Park on Saturday evening, the dragon caught fire. At Disneyland explained in the statement, Anaheim Fire and Rescue quickly responded and the fire was extinguished. All cast members were evacuated from Tom Sawyer Island. Due to the smoke and wind, attractions near the island were safely cleared by any guests, and the cause of the fire remains under investigation at the time. Luckily, there were no injuries to be reported. So that's a little sad because I know a lot of people did like seeing that dragon from... I've never been to Disneyland, maybe one day, but honestly, I have a fear of people in giant costumes, so it's probably not any time in my near future, but I have heard of how great and how awesome it is. But I think I've seen a lot of people talk about this dragon. So the fact that it was like, it got caught in fire or whatever happened to it, that made it go into flames, it's gotta be sad for the people who do go and enjoy this park often, or this little area often. So I'm so sorry for the people who do love that attraction or that area, because it probably closed for a little bit until they can get things back and situated and all that good stuff. Luckily, like the article said, no one was hurt. None of the crew was hurt. None of the people were hurt. Just normal physical things to that dragon. And, so I'm glad that the fire department, responded quickly. And that's always great to hear when the first responders respond quickly to something. So that was great. But just for those of you who like to go to Disneyland a lot and all that kind of stuff, then keep that in mind that at this moment it looks like that area will be shut down. So I know it's not like, oh my gosh, really bad world news, but I thought it was something to share, something to let y'all know, for those people who really do love Disney that much and want to maybe go during this next couple of weeks or that kind of stuff. then know that this did happen, and it might be a good thing because when a ride comes down due to something like natural like this, or at least I think it's a natural, normal thing, probably like, I mean, I hate to think that somebody set fire to it. It's not, it's not something we can rule out. It could have been something that happened, but at least we know that we could possibly get a better dragon next time, bigger, better, cooler. I don't know. So it's also kind of like a cool little let's see what's gonna happen, because for Disney, it like they have so much money, so and all their creativity is so great that who knows what they're gonna do with it. So looking forward to seeing what they either end up replacing it with, if it's just the same dragon, or if they go bigger and better with it. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. So up next, our next story for the day is an Am I the A-hole story. And I don't know, I keep telling y'all every time we're on these podcasts how much I like these stories, but I really do. And then this one just captured my attention because I was like, to me, it was one of those, like, I was kind of torn between one or the other. So we'll start off with the title. Am I the a-hole for not taking care of my cousin's toddler? And when I read that title, I was like, probably so, but I need to get context. So it goes, I, 20 female, went upstate to visit my extended family recently. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. This included my cousin, who had a baby about 3.5 years ago. My cousin would be named Carol, and the baby would be named Lily for this post. I don't like children, never have, and possibly never will. My whole family knows this, so I haven't really spent the most time with Lily when I've visited. Surprisingly, she wasn't too bad the few times I visited her and Carol along with my other family. However, this time Lily was an absolute hellspawn. Screaming, crying, throwing tantrums along with things across the room. We were staying in the same house, so I heard it every day for a few days. I distanced myself from Carol and Lily as much as possible. Other than the time I got mad at Carol and I bit at Lily when Lily was throwing a tantrum about something and threw my phone to the floor, cracking the corner of the screen. Carol said I was overreacting. I read that first part and I was like, what do you mean overreacting? Your kid just broke my phone, Like, oh, I don't know. Nah, but we'll see. Yesterday, I was watching television in the living room when Carol came into the room carrying Lily, who was being fussy. She asked me to watch her for a day because she needed a break, but I wasn't so sure. As I said, I don't like kids in the first place, but I'm also not sure I could take care of one. Especially one as bad as Lily. I explained this to Carol and she insisted I take care of Lily. I asked if anybody else can take care of Lily because I wouldn't, and she told me that everyone else was out shopping and how I don't know how hard it is to be a mother, and the least I can do is help. I told her I understand how she's struggling, but reinstated my dad's on taking care of another human being. Carol called me heartless and stormed out of the room to go and take care of Lily herself. A little over 15 minutes later, everyone returned. Carol, of course, told them that what I had done, and everyone was being cold to me for the rest of the day. This morning, I left because I was getting uncomfortable with how I was being treated and felt like I wasn't welcome because I couldn't take care of Lily. This was met with sad or angry comments from some, but I left anyways. I'm writing this in the hotel because now I'm having second thoughts. Was I an a-hole for not taking care of Lily? Wow. And that's where I'm split on this topic. Because, let's see. I totally understand Carol, the mom of Lily, being overwhelmed with having a child, and especially if she's going through her terrible 2 stage/3. From what it sounds like, she's being a little brat, which most kids tend to be at that age. They call them their terrible twos and stuff like that. So I've heard that it's like either like as soon as they're turning 2, like close to their 3rd year or something like that. So at least it sounds like that's what she's kind of going through. But I also don't think it's an excuse for her to act that way, and that Carol has dismissed the stuff that the kid is doing, and it's not that big of a deal. And to come and tell OP that she has to take care of Lily because she doesn't understand how hard it is to be a mother, and just expect her to say yes because, like, for some reason she has to say yes. I feel like that's a little too much. I agree that being a mom is tiresome. Moms just have it so hard. Like, I know nowadays you think would have gotten better at either having both roles have just as much to do, being men or women, or however that is. But it always ends up being the mom for the most part to take care of the child 24/7. And it's sad because they need a break too. Like, you get to go out and talk to your friends, talk to your family or whatnot, and I'm sure she can talk to her family too, but you get to go out and do stuff that's not the kid related. And I just think that can be very stressful for a mom to not be able to have the delivery that she used to. So I totally get where she's coming from. But to force it on somebody to be like, you have to take care of my child, and because you said no, now I'm going to be mad at you for it. No. Like, it was very wrong. Because this is a person who has OP apparently seems to be like a person who has voice. The fact that she does not like kids, she doesn't want kids, not now, not in the future, not thinking about them, right? And she explained to Carol that she really doesn't feel comfortable in knowing that she might have to take care of this other human being. And, like, she's like, nah, I think I'm good, And I'm kind of glad that she voiced out her theory on this, because from the beginning, OP says that her whole family knows this. Her whole family knows that she doesn't do kids, So the fact that she already knew this and still asked her, I don't know. To me, it seems rude. And, like, if I was a mom and I knew somebody who doesn't do kids, doesn't do well with kids, doesn't want anything to do kids, they would be the last person on my list to want to leave my kid with, Like, if I was a mom, I would want to leave my kid with someone who is either responsible and is okay being with kids and being around them, knowing what to do in situations like changing their diapers or them needing to be burped, that kind of stuff, feeding them, all these little things. And just the fact that she is not okay with it, I would not feel safe leaving my child with a person who is not okay being with kids. But to each their own, I can understand that maybe the mom was desperate and just really needed a break. So, and she just didn't really think that through. But I've seen plenty of stories of, like, people who, like, even trusting their kids to somebody they could trust, and things go downhill real quick, So the fact that you want to leave your child with somebody who doesn't even like kids, I just think it's very alarming to me. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, And if you're a person who doesn't like kids, doesn't want kids, that's okay. If you're a person who loves kids and wants kids, that's okay too. But you shouldn't have to push it on other people. If somebody doesn't want to take care of your kid, that's okay. Move on to somebody else. Like, unless you're in a very desperate situation where you absolutely have to leave somebody, like your kid, with someone that doesn't like kids, I mean, it's a rough one. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. I've definitely never been in those shoes, but I don't know. I would definitely find someone who is comfortable around them. So I don't think OP is an asshole for it. I don't think that she did anything wrong by speaking out and saying, hey, I don't feel comfortable, I'm not going to do it. I don't think she was an a-hole for it. I do think that the lady that we're going to call Carol, from what they said in their post, I do think that she was an a-hole for being so pushy about it, and so rude at the same time, because like she told her, oh, you don't understand what it's like to be a mother, or and then going and telling the whole family about this, about that OP wouldn't want to take care of Lily and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think that was a little wrong of her. Like, that's your problem. Don't go around and telling your family members, oh, well, OP didn't want to take care of my kid. Can you believe she would say that? Like, girl, like, don't do that. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't look like, who knows, I don't know their backstory. It doesn't look like they've had any other feuds. So, like, to make this a big deal and make it, like, a family thing, like, I just think that's wrong. And, the aunts, uncles, whatever, who probably agreed that, OP should have taken care of Lily. I'm like, are you thinking about this? Do you really want to put your grandkid, niece, nephew, whatever, like, with somebody who doesn't want kids? Like, do you really want that? I don't know. In my opinion, I don't think that, one, that OP was an a-hole, and two, I do think that Carol needs to sort out her priorities. But that's just me. So you guys let me know in the comments if y'all do think that maybe she was an a-hole and she should have just taken care of Lily. She doesn't post how long she wanted her to take care of Lily, so I want to say, like, if it had been like 30 to an hour, maybe she could have done it. But if it had been like a few hours, I don't know if I would trust my kid being around somebody who is not okay with kids that long. So she does give an update, and she goes, hey y'all, thank you for your kind words. About a day after I got home, Carol sent me a text message saying she apologized for how she acted. She told me that hold up, let me rephrase that. She told me in the text how she's been feeling bad about the situation since I left. She acted out of bounds and was stressed, but shouldn't have taken it out on me. And sorry for the exaggerated story to our family members. She finally asked if I would come back up north to come and chat with them and her, and along with the rest of the family. I declined because I had to work and couldn't make it on the trip. So we talked on the phone. She kept profusely apologizing for how she acted and was trying to make amends. I was honestly shocked, but grateful. We made arrangements for a few months from now to meet up in person. On the more negative side, I haven't heard from the rest of the family as I'm writing this. I'm not sure if they're still mad or just ignoring me or some other reason. I think it might be the latter, as I asked. I don't think that word is right. She wrote, it might be the latter, as I asked Carol about it. And she's not even sure. Whatever it is, I hope they talk to me soon again. Once again, thank you. So, I'm not sure what she was trying to say with that last sentence. I think it might be the latter. I'm not really sure why she wrote latter, as I asked Carol about it. But anyways, Carol did call OP or texted her, and then they talked on the phone, saying how she was sorry about how she acted, and I'm kind of glad that she did. Because like a lot of times these like family arguments and stuff can get a little out of hand, and like I do think that being a mother, it does a lot of things to your hormones and stuff, and you get agitated so much easier and that kind of stuff. So I do agree that at that moment she was probably just feeling like really stressed, and if Lily was being extra fuzzy and that kind of stuff, she was probably just like the fact that OP wouldn't take care of her just kind of drew a straw for her type of thing, and so she just kind of went the wrong way about it. But I'm kind of glad that she went and said, I'm sorry, I exaggerated, I'm sorry for the way I told my family, like, I'm so sorry about everything, and, invited her back to come back up and, talk to the family, that kind of stuff. So I'm really glad as to for the rest of the family who hasn't reached out to her and be like, hey, I'm sorry, like, I really hope Carol had gone to them and told them, I exaggerated that story a little bit, it really wasn't that bad. I really hope Carol had gone and told them, because from what it looks like, I don't know if she did, I don't know if she didn't, but if the rest of the family members aren't reaching out, then I don't know, they might have their own opinions. Like I said, I think it's a very two-sided situation where you can look at both people and be like, okay, they were correct because of this, So I definitely do think it was very split, in my opinion. I do think that, this lady, this Carol lady that we're calling right now, that she does deserve a break, because being a mother is tiresome. But I do agree that no one should be forced to take care of a child that's, one, not theirs, and two, that they are not okay with children, So I don't think it should have been pushed on her either. But I'm curious to see what y'all think, like, especially mothers out there. How would you have reacted to the situation? If I was a mom, I'm not a mom, but if I was a mom, I don't know if I would want to leave my kid with somebody who's not comfortable being around kids. So I definitely wouldn't have gone that way. Like, if she has said no, then oh well, like. But if I already knew that she's not okay with kids and doesn't want kids, I probably wouldn't have asked to begin with. So, I don't know. Let me know what y'all guys think on the bottom, in the comment section in our YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube, or even on our Spotify, our no Snapchat, sorry, our TikTok and our Instagrams. Make sure to leave comments on there if you want to tell your opinion on that story. And as always, I'll be linking the link of all of our stories to there. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting one. I was like, I could really see both sides of this, So that was that for that story. And it was really interesting to me, because I was like, ooh, if that had been me, like, I would have probably cried. No, I wouldn't have cried. But definitely it was one of those where you don't really think about it until it happens to you type of things, like at that moment I might always be like, oh, I really don't like kids, I really don't want to take care of kids, that kind of stuff. But I also do think that if I could have been given, like, if it was just going to be something short, I definitely would have done it and, gone from there. Because I love kids, so I would have taken care of the kid, no problem. But I know other people wouldn't have done the same. So, alright, so on to our last and final story for the day. Like I said, I always like to keep these happy. I always like to end them with a happy note. So, this one, when I read it, I was like, wow, talk about miracles. So the headline of the thing goes, Texas teen dies rock climbing. 2 hours later, he revives. A literal miracle. His name is Sammy Barco, a teenage boy from Missouri City, Texas. Went to rock climbing gym where he suffered a cardiac arrest and died. 2 hours later, he was alive. So what happened was, he climbed to the top of the wall, rang the bell as they were told, and then his body went limp, and it looked like he was either playing around or passed out. They weren't quite sure, and when they realized he was unresponsive, they lowered him slowly. Paramedics and doctors proceeded to administer CPR for 2 hours before informing Jennifer, he's gone. She and her husband Craig sat down by their son's bedside for a few minutes to say their goodbyes. The mom goes, I started talking to him, just telling him how much I loved him and sorry that we didn't know how to save him. Suddenly, I started praying. My husband said, Oh my gosh, he's moving, said Jennifer to a local news station. The couple shouted to the medical team, and the medical team ran back and began administering the aid. Due to how long Sammy went without oxygen, there was a fear he suffered a major brain injury. But aside from somewhat physical injury, he has so far only experienced short-term memory loss. He says he doesn't remember anything about the day it happened. The last thing he remembers is the night before when they had to sign the waivers online for the gym, and then he woke up and he was in the pediatric ICU, you know? And despite how lucky Sammy was, that does not mean that the road to recovery has been easy. Sammy has been working to recover strength in his legs after a month in the hospital and is undergoing physical therapy for his ischemic spine injury. And it goes to say that he knew it would be weird, and it was a crazy experience learning to walk again and working on strength without using my legs to be able to balance me. It has just been an amazing experience here, actually. Like, I've noticed that I'm better every day. I'm doing something new every single day, Sammy told the local news station. And that's the end of that story. Like, that is just really, really amazing, you know? As a person who does believe in miracles, it warmed my heart to see that this boy was literally declared dead, and for 2 hours, you know, they were trying everything, and he was just like, the doctors were just like, he's gone, there's nothing else we can do. And for the mom to have that bond to her son, and when she started praying, you know, he started moving and he came back to life. Like, that to me is amazing. That is just unbelievable. You know, I always have this belief that a mother's prayer is the best prayer there is out there, because mothers are just always looking for the best of their kids. At least most mothers are. I do know there is bad mothers out there. I get it. And if you had a bad mother, I am really terribly sorry. But like, the ones who do care and care for their children, there is nothing stronger than a woman fighting for her child. And it like nothing, insanely nothing. And the fact that her prayer went a long way and he came back to life, that is just amazing. And to me, I am very, very happy this happened for this boy, and he gets a second chance. And he says, you know, yes, it's been a struggle to try to regain my strength and get back to everything, but he seems to be pretty positive about this. He says he's learning something new that he can do, that his body can do every day. So I think that's really great. That's really great that he's getting better and he's pushing through this bad accident that happened to him. I think it said it was a cardiac arrest. So definitely something that could happen to anyone, but I think for this one, it was one of those very rare cases where it doesn't usually typically happen to like young kids like this, or he didn't have any medical history or anything like that the parents knew about. It just kind of happened. So it was really strange for him to go under this, and I'm just really glad that he made it out, that he is still here with the rest of us in the world, and that he's pushing through, he's making the best of it. And we keep hoping the best for the Burgos family and this young boy, and hopefully we'll get to hear an update on how he's doing in a few years from now, you know, or maybe even next year or in a few months, you know, and hopefully get to find out if he ever got to like fully walk again and that kind of stuff and what's going on with his life. So that was the last story of today. I hope y'all enjoy that one. I hope it kind of just gives you that little extra faith for the day to get by. Because, Mondays are always a struggle for sure. At least for me, they always are a struggle. I don't know how the rest of y'all feel. Maybe some of y'all like Mondays, and that is totally okay. I'm not a Monday person. I'm just a morning person. I don't do mornings, but sadly I have to. Adult life. But I hope that story has kind of brightened up your day for today, and that there is hope out there still, that miracles are still happening every day. So keep that little voice in your head that, hey, it's still possible. Might take years, might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but things are still possible. So without further ado, I want to say thank you for joining us again on another episode. I appreciate all the support that y'all been showing and listening to the podcast. And hope we can keep going together. Hope we can keep learning together, and hope we keep giving each other opinions and have different opinions and be okay with it. So thanks for joining us. I hope to hear from y'all on our TikTok, on our YouTube, on our Instagram, and even on our Spotify page. So see y'all next Monday. Bye, guys. Look at my sleeves.